So look, the cloning shit is not what you think it is. It's not as simple as, well, why would somebody want to clone that nigga? What that nigga got? If you understand how the physical world is a reflection of the spiritual world, and you start fucking with the DNA and shit, you understand that you're tapping into some other shit. You're like ripping a portal open on some shit. The movie Boys of Brazil, even the movie Congress, she agrees to give them her image. They like scan her or some shit, and then she goes into this digital world. So everything is connected, and they need the influential people to maintain the mind control and how they program your subconscious mind to respond to things. And they need these influential leaders to trigger your mind control, to trigger your trauma, basically trigger your trance. It's kind of a complex thing to grasp, because the 1% that use this occultic knowledge to control the masses, they teach you a certain way to think. You know, you think you're on a sphere moving millions of miles through space. Why is it that all alien stories and abduction stories have to do with grays? You know, if you think with aliens, like, wouldn't it be like some other type of shit? Wouldn't it be like just all different kinds of shit? But it's always grays. It's always them. Since Kemet in Egypt and the Atlanteans were fucking around with genomics, basically tampering with the DNA pool, tampering with the gene pool, created a mutation which then moved into the ground, and they can't survive on the surface. And so in order to get the control, they clone the leaders, and then they basically replace the leaders. And that's why in The Simpsons you always see them rip off the skin and they're like aliens.
Hart, star of the new film Central Intelligence, joining us now. How do you do it? I look on Twitter, there you are. Facebook, there you are. Television, there you are. How do you do it?
I have a clone.
I was going to say that. There's two of you.
Cat's out the bag. Okay? It's about a good 3 of me. You know, we broke it. They didn't want to release it yet. This is major news that I'm giving you.
All right.
I'm the first person to ever use it. I'm cloned.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it.
That's why I'm able to do all that I do.
The alarm is about to sound. Time to wake up from the fairy tale. For ignorance is bliss, but knowledge is power. You are now about to witness the power of words.
Since the birth of Dolly the sheep in 1996, scientists have managed to clone about 20 species, including cats, goats, and sheep. Now they've taken a step towards something a lot more controversial: cloning a human. What the scientists have done is created a human embryonic clone. They start by taking a human egg, take out the nucleus, and then they take a skin cell from a patient, take the skin cell and put it into this denucleated egg. The skin cell that's been transferred is sort of the software, and the egg acts like a hardware, and the hardware essentially boots up the software and creates an embryonic clone. From the embryonic clone, the scientists can derive other stem cells and go on to make heart tissue, or nerve tissue, or any other tissue that goes on to make a person. The goal of this research has nothing to do really with cloning. Cloning is just a tool. The idea is to create fresh tissue in a lab. If someone has a heart attack and you have scarring inside, you could use fresh tissue made in the lab to treat that scarring. If someone has a nerve ailment like Alzheimer's disease, you could transplant lab-made tissue to the person and hopefully treat that kind of malady. One of the biggest challenges in creating a human clone is that very few scientists are going to be willing to try this kind of experiment. The reason is it's incredibly controversial. It's banned in many, if not most countries, and it would provoke a huge outcry. However, there's always an outlier or two among the science fraternity who in some country, in some underground lab, may be willing to try and clone a human. Scientists have been able to clone various species, but they've made no headway really in cloning a monkey. And primates, like humans, seem to have egg cells that are a lot more fragile. So maybe that's one of the reasons why it's so difficult. For them to actually make headway in cloning a person, they'd have to refine the process a great deal more, and that seems to be a long way off, probably many, many years.
So the question now is science close to creating the first human clone or not? With the evidence I've seen, if I was a betting woman, I would put my money on yes. Here lately several celebrities have come out on Twitter and other social media outlets saying that human cloning is a very real thing. Some have even claimed to be clones themselves.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, if you go to Disney World, for instance, down there in the Haunted Mansion, you see the hologram, right? Oh, you know how to make a hologram. Well, our scientists have learned how to make people. They call them synthetics. Are you familiar with those?
Well, actually, we just interviewed John Lear, and he was talking about being in an audience in which they were given a lecture by a guy that they thought was real and found out later he was a hologram.
It's a synthetic. The synthetics, when you touch their skin, it feels like plastic. That's the latest technique. The old techniques, if you guys can rent a video, the boys from Brazil, rent it, because in it, it gives you the exact way how our government's been making people.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
and the Soviets had a different method called...
I mean, making people meaning temporary people?
No, walking, talking ones.
Meaning through genetics? You're not talking about that?
Well, let me tell you. The movie shows it, but I'll share it with you right now.
All right.
All I need to do is take 2 cells off of your body, yours.
Uh-huh.
We give them a small electrical charge. I'm just going to tell them, act like a fertilized egg. If I got a fertilized egg, all I need is a receiver in order to make it. So they were hypnotizing women, you know, said they were being invaded by aliens. And the fetus starts growing, right? Needs food. Well, they can use cows and sheep, too. Again, a food source, that's all we need. After about 14 weeks, all of a sudden that fetus is gone. Because they've learned to take, that's when the fetus starts developing its own blood supply. Then they've used a pituitary hormone extract that they have, which accelerates the being that grows.
Consider this. Have you ever noticed that, sometimes, a certain celebrity seems slightly off? Maybe it's an errant beauty mark or the fact that one of their famous tattoos has gone missing. You can feel in your heart that something's just not right. That's because your favorite entertainer, my dear, may be deceased, and what you are looking at may be their consciousness inside of a clone. As wild and unbelievable as this sounds, this could mean countless incarnations of your dearly departed could be walking among us for centuries to come. Some say that this has been going on all along, and that the elites, Illuminati, or whatever they are called these days, are already at work performing this unholy act. Take a look at some of these celebrity lookalikes and tell me what you think. Let me know if you see what I see, and think some of them could just be duplicates of people from the past. Coincidence, you say? I feel you. Like, look at this one of Eddie Murphy, is sorta a stretch, I'll give you that. But for the most part you can see why others may have come to this conclusion. It's hard to even fathom the fact that the DNA from past humans is what's being used to produce some of today's entertainers. The massive amount of influence these celebrities have on their fans could be why the elite create these soulless beings in the first place while controlling and manipulating them through using MK Ultra programming. Well, I guess the question now is, what do you believe? My videos are here to create debate. Also, they are here, hopefully, to inspire people to do their own research on questionable things and stop maintaining the status quo.
Is implanted into the base of the neck, and all of your information, like where you're from, all your experiences, your emotion, who you know, are downloaded onto a DHF called Digital Human Frame. The DHF can then be transferred into one of our organically made sleeves of your choice, and you can basically have your conscious mind but in a different physical body. So our sleeves typically last 1 to 100 years. We do different facial features, different body structures, anything you like. The sleeve can do any physical function that you can do, like run, eat, sleep, breathe, burn, drown, anything you can think of, the sleeve can do. So before we go on to phase 2, where we talk about different modifications, do we have any questions? We come out February 2nd, and we're based in San Francisco.
Stack, your consciousness can shift to any sleeve of your choice. Now we have some sample sleeves in the back, or you can choose the sleeve that you are in right now. Now we have modifications, enhancements of these sleeves. If you'd like to correct your vision or strengthen your body, we can produce that for you. Or you can choose from a 2018 Cadillac that Psychosect already produced sleeves. You have the option to choose between a man or woman sleeve. If you'd like to be a bit taller, a bit shorter, a bit darker, or a bit lighter, you can choose any ethnicity as you wish. Now, if your sleeve becomes damaged or too old for your liking, you can simply take your DHF, your consciousness, and shift it to another cortical stack of another sleeve of your choice. Now, you can think of these sleeves as luxury cars. Pick out your favorite make and model and take it for a spin. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's many enhancements you can do to these sleeves. Gentlemen, many enhancements. Our final stage is a sleeve in storage. If you have a photograph or video camera, please don't forget to hashtag Psychosec. And if you're interested in this technology, releasing it February 2nd, 2018.
This is Joel. He's one of our sleeves currently in storage. Please take lots of photos. If you post them, hashtag Psychosec. You may notice some moisture. That's an amniotic fluid that's being used to preserve his body while he's in storage. He has also attached a mask for nasal respiration, and the oral gastric tube is for nutrient delivery. Don't be shy. If you'd like to come close and feel, see the detail, you may. Just please be gentle so we don't bruise the body, but don't be shy. Please come close and feel.
Yeah, he's one good translation.
Come back, don't be shy. Please come closer.
To be concluded, like, comment and subscribe for future content.